All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Before we jump into things, I want to tell you where I'm doing stand-up. Hopefully you can come out and see me May 1st and 2nd. I'm going to be at the Comedy Connection in East Providence, Rhode Island. That's my home state, going home to Rhode Island, May 1st and 2nd, this Friday and Saturday. 3 shows. Come check me out if you're in Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island, Wisconsin. Fly in. I'm worth it. May 7th through the 10th, I'm going to be at the Cincinnati Funny Bone. May 7th through the 10th, Cincinnati Funny Bone. And May 15th and 16th, I'm going to be at Governor's Comedy Club in Belmore, New York. That's in Long Island. That's May 5th and 15th and 16th, Friday and Saturday. Governor's, Belmore, Long Island, New York. Before we jump into things with my guest today, I want to talk to you about baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. My team is the Red Sox. I'll pause for you to boo. Okay, good. Thank you. And I went to a baseball game recently, and I got to tell you, I'm a little disenchanted with the sport. They were supposed to be making changes, make things more interesting. First of all, let me back up. I think baseball's become too elitist, all right? Just look at the food at the ballparks. In the past, you had stuff like peanuts, Cracker Jacks. Now you have sushi, salad greens, filet mignon sandwiches. Baseball parks need to cater to our tight budgets and serve food more suitable for our dismal economy, like ramen noodles, ice chips, or labelless dented cans of peas. And let's face it, even with the attempts to speed up the game, it's still a slow game. It's long, okay? Watching baseball is like watching a dog wait for its owner outside a store. Stare, 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 yawn, wag its tail. Is that my master? No? Stare, stare. Like, look, more and more ballparks are adding exciting attractions like waterfalls and animal displays, but no ballpark has thought of stockpiling its promenade with the most exciting attraction of all, a football field. Now, of all the sports, baseball is also the most gentle. Now, if I wanted to see softballs and backslapping, I'd watch Fox News. Let's have some more passion and violence in the game. Make it interesting. Give the players weapons. Who doesn't want to see a runner taken out by the shortstop with a snub-nosed 45? Or a runner impaling the catcher at home plate with his switchblade spikes? And we need scandals. Steroids, I guess, cleaned up, I don't know, but there's no scandals anymore in baseball. I just want to see some headline, anything, like player thinks he's a praying mantis and eats fan after having sex with her. That would be cool. Alright, so those are some of my fixes for baseball. My guest today, Andy Ruther, stand-up comedian, really funny guy, and host and co-founder of the Dirty Sports podcast. Really great podcast where they talk about sports, sex, fandom, having sports, and playing sex and sports, and having sex and sports, and you get my point. It's a really cool podcast that covers a lot of ground, and they got great fans that listen to it. Andy's got a really cool story. Andy actually had a severe brain injury and almost died, and came back from it to live and tell about it, and continues to do stand-up, and like I said, hosts this great podcast, and just a really interesting backstory on him, and a really funny guy. And we also talk about his disgusting couch, where many women have had their way with Andy, if you will, and then Andy's seed has ended up on the couch. That's pretty much what happened there. So anyway, this is Andy Ruther. Enjoy the podcast. Thanks for checking it out. Come see me do stand-up in the markets I just mentioned, and keep spreading the word about the podcast, everybody. Okay, you are listening to the podcast of Paul Mecurio. Welcome to the Paul Mecurio Show. I am here in Venice Beach, California. It's part of my LA swing. I'm hanging with my buddy Andy Ruther, and he was just typing into his phone, comedian Andy Ruther, and podcaster of Dirty Sports Podcast, and the founder of DirtySports.com. And he was just typing into his phone a joke that he's going to use in his act about his cum-filled couch, and I'm sitting in his cum-filled captain's chair. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Cum master.
I was like, I feel like I need a hat that just says Cum King on it right now.
You are just like... And so he's got this really... We're going to post some pictures of this. He's got this really, like, 80s half-moon couch that's, like, dented, like, so all smashed down in the middle, like somebody was murdered in the center of it.
There's actually an Asian hooker that's inside the couch.
I believe it. And it's a color green that it's like a green, like, gremlin that my friend had. You can't even anyway. And he's had this theory. Tell me your theory about, like, why this is a good couch for you.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone's like, you need to upgrade on your couch. It's old. It's disgusting. You can upgrade. But my theory is when I start fooling around with girls is when they lie on their back, it's all old and like it's uncomfortable. And my bed is 3 feet away in back of the couch. They just say, okay, just stop. Like, let's just go to your bed and have sex because this is hurting my back. Like, I can't make out with you this way. This hurts.
And then in the back of your mind, you go, it worked again.
Yes, it worked. Having a disgusting old diseased couch.
It really does look like after you get to sit in that, you need to take a flea bath. And then I'm sitting on your desk chair where apparently you put a towel down and jerk off to it. And so I'm really distracted right now. I've never been this distracted in interviewing somebody from my show.
You're actually gonna, when you leave this apartment, you will be HIV positive.
Nice apartment though, man. You're right near the Venice Beach.
Yeah,
very
thanks,
cool. A Cincinnati kid in Venice. You made good, man.
I mean, thanks. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I said, like I said to you before we started, you went down to the Ohio River. Now I get to walk across the street to the... Great.
You can go in the Ohio River? Is it clean?
I've actually never been in the Ohio River.
There you're going to get AIDS right there.
Although I do live in Venice, so when I go out in the ocean here, there's definitely a good chance a heroin syringe could get stuck to my foot.
Do you ever go to Muscle Beach and work out with those guys?
No, it's directly...
It's like a prison outdoors, basically.
Yeah, it's directly across the street from me. I've actually never worked out there, right next to the basketball courts.
You pussy. You should go. You should go take your desk chair and jerk off while they're working out.
They'll be like, can you spot me? And I'll just jerk off on their face. That's my idea of spotting them.
Nobody will even say anything. They'd be too uncomfortable.
Well, in Venice, you can't stick out. That's actually true. If I did something weird, there's so many weirdos down here. You know what I call it? That movie that Will Smith did, that zombie movie that he did, I Am Legend. That's what I call Venice at night. Because when the lights go down, it's just crackheads running around everywhere.
Lots of guys and women with shopping carts on the beach. That's hilarious. So you came here in 2007 from Cincinnati.
Well, actually, I graduated college in 2005 in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And
St. Louis University.
Yes.
And you did your first stand-up there at a sorority, right?
I did. I did my first stand-up in a sorority competition.
Scares you that I know that, right? See that?
I was like, where's this coming from?
You might do a little research.
You've done a little background check on me.
I called your mother. She told me a few things. Tell them one of the first jokes you did in front of your parents.
Oh, I did a joke. They saw me that summer in Cincinnati at the Funny Bone at an open mic. And I had this joke about Lonnie Anderson. She came to I went to an all-boy high school in Cincinnati. And she came, and for some reason, she gave some speech about
Catholic high school.
Catholic high school. St. Xavier in Cincinnati. She gave some speech as far as the effects of smoking and why it's bad and harmful. And one of my first jokes was like, "Yeah, Lonnie Anderson came to give a speech. She inspired me, but not to smoke, but to jerk off to those big ass titties."
You did that in front of your parents.
In front of my parents. In front of anyone. That is an awful, unfunny joke.
It really is. But that's what everybody does in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what, like, you're just searching for anything, and then eventually you realize either I have to stop doing that, or if I keep doing it, I'm only going to work like VFW halls the rest of my life.
Yeah, I've upgraded now to jokes about my cum chair. So there's been a progression.
You're classing it up.
There's been a progression in my masturbation
true, like,
jokes.
You basically, like very, very excitedly wrote down like a date rape joke that we could do about your couch. I got a reason now that I can fuck a girl. I can tell her my couch is really uncomfortable. This is brilliant. No, it actually is a good idea though, because I haven't heard that premise before that done that way. So I think it would be a good joke.
Yeah, I'll test it out this week. We'll see if people are into me purposely having shitty furniture to get laid.
So tell me. You got fans called Dirtballs who follow dirtysports.com. Now, for my fans who may not be familiar with Dirty Sports, tell them what it is. Tell them how you started it. I was a guest on it this past week. I had a great time. We spent a lot of time talking about dicks and Doris Burke's dick but everything. It was just really fun. So you obviously a Cincinnati Reds fan. Obviously a sports fan, but how did it come about?
Well, I've always been a sports fan.
Yeah.
My goal as a kid, I wanted to be a Sports Center anchor.
Really?
But now,
which one did you look up to? Any particular anchors?
I always liked Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
But now all I do is shit on ESPN. Yeah. I like what I do now way better because they're too PC, and I don't like where ESPN's gone. But, I've always loved sports.
Yeah.
So always been a huge sports guy. But I wanted to do a podcast that wasn't your stereotypical ESPN. I mean, you know it, the PC bullshit. I want to talk about what like you and I would talk about if we're watching the Kentucky-Wisconsin game. The shit that's coming out of our mouth, like, oh, you fucking white guy, there he goes again, taking a charge.
Yeah, you know, I mean, in fact, I should have talked about this on your podcast, or maybe I'll do another one or something with you. But like, I've done a lot of stuff with sports and comedy. I had an HBO sports comedy series. I did a sports comedy series show for Comedy Central. And I have an animated show that we're animating right now about disgraced athletes who are like superheroes who use the powers that got them kicked out of sports to do like badass shit, right?
So would that be like Jamarcus Russell using grape drink to like propel his superhero powers?
Like, right. And like so you know, we got a roided up guy, we've got the womanizer, we got a whole bunch of
That's great.
Yeah, that right. So my motivation was having worked on the Daily Show where we skewer politics and news. It's like, well, why don't we satirize sports? You know, because there's all this stuff going on in sports, and like you say, they want to be PC about it. The networks want to be PC about it because they're, you know, the leagues want to be PC about it. So my take has always been, well, I just want to be able to say what I say from the couch. Like I was on Sports Nation like a week and a half ago here in LA, and I basically shit on Big Papi, you know, who came and wrote that open letter saying I didn't do steroids. And I'm a Red Sox fan. It broke my heart to say it on national TV, but like when you protest like that, that means you definitely did it.
Well, the thing is, you know, they're all on something, and none of us care.
Right.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
I want to be entertained.
I'd rather them all be on it.
Yes.
They all have enough money to buy the best of the best, or just like the league should sort of put a dosage that everybody can take. Like, right, like, in other words, here's acceptable. This is what you can use this product and this much of it. So the only testing would be if you're using too much of it or, like, not enough of it, right?
I mean, how awesome would it be if, you know, Josh Hamilton was so amped up on cocaine when he's trotting around, by the time he gets to home plate, he dies because his heart explodes. You couldn't write that. You couldn't script that for TV.
Exactly.
And people forget sports, to me, it's no different than like one of these reality Real Housewives show. Yeah. It's just drama, and we want to see that, and it's interesting.
Yeah. And so how did Dirty Sports come about?
So I have a business partner who's more behind the scenes, and we started writing. We created the Dirty Sports Twitter feed, and then we created the website. And I told Joe Praino, I was like, dude, we got to do a podcast.
Yeah.
There really isn't. Besides, I don't know if you know Punch Drunk Sports, which is, you know, kind of like ours. There's really no outlet for people to hear sports talk where they're going to say it how it is.
Yeah. And it's not the kind of sports talk that you hear on AM radio around the country or ESPN.
You know what that
radio.
is? I always say that it's boring white people.
Right.
It is. It's all boring white people who are too scared to say anything.
So what were you starting to say in your Twitter feed that kind of caught on with people? What were some of the things that you were saying at the time? Do you remember? Like just anything that would stand out that was like really outrageous?
I think we just tweet things that you're not going to see. Like I remember, like for example, you know, and people can say, "Oh, that's racist" or "That's misogynistic." It's like, you know, when you see Marshawn Lynch trucking people and running for the end zone, and we tweet things like Marshawn running for the end zone, like there's a fat assed white woman there waiting for him. It's like that's his motivation, or you know, Yasiel Puig is faster than a deer on meth.
Right.
It's like we're tweeting things that are describing it, not. But in a funny sense, as we commentate in the game.
Yeah, and did you start to use it too as like a, because I've seen the feed a lot. It's really funny and can be biting, which is good. And I think the podcast picks up with that. And it's like, so were you using it too, like when any of these big issues come down, like, you know, the Ray Rice stuff, you know, domestic abuse and all that. Like, are you going after any of that stuff going on in sports?
Yeah.
Like the steroid use, you know?
For sure. We talk about current events, and, you know, we also, you know, we're quick to interject our viewpoints. You know, I have made it a known fact how much I hate Roger Goodell, the hypocrisy from stuff like the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, how, you know, little money is actually donated to help research for breast cancer, to the whole women's thing is a sham. I mean, it cracks me up. I always say, you're putting on these commercials. They did those commercials, as you saw throughout the NFL season, of so athletes are fake crying. That's going to make some redneck in Tennessee not hit his wife.
Yeah.
That's the worst fucking marketing I've ever seen.
I know.
You know what they should do, Paul? It's pretty simple. Just don't hire the guys. If the guy's a piece of shit who hits women, don't hire him. And that's on the owners. I
mean, Jerry Jones has been under fire now for signing, for this last signing, and basically That's exactly right. If one guy really got to sit out, but see, the union's too strong and collective bargaining and all of that. It's a business. It's not about, you know what I mean? I mean, look, right now as we speak, there's some sexism going on in some corporation somewhere, and they can say that doesn't happen, and it does. And, I think that the problem with sports has been it's like the Wizard of Oz. They don't want you to look behind the curtain. And the only shows that do that really well are like Real Story with Brian Gumbel and at the highest level,
Yeah.
And, Bob Costas has always been good about calling. Like Bob Costas is a buddy of mine. He's been in my series, my HBO series, been on my podcast. And, he'll say it, but he's beyond reproach at this point. Like he can't hurt himself because he's so big. But you don't have a lot of those guys out there, right?
No,
and nobody at ESPN really wants to go down that.
I totally agree. And I think what's cool about our show is we give that alternative approach.
Right.
And there's a huge faction of people who are sick of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't turn on SportsCenter, Paul, to see some sap story.
Right.
And I don't care how dick...
Do a lot of those now.
I don't care how
with Tom Rinaldi doing the voiceover.
Exactly. I don't care how dick that sounds. But you know what? I came to watch sports highlights, not see some kid who's going to die of cancer who got to... meet his star players in the Yankees.
Right.
Again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but there's a time and place for those stories, and it's not in sports.
I agree. And you know what that kid needs? He needs a cum-soaked chair. And I think I'm sitting in the one that you
know what he
send that
needs
kid.
before he dies? He needs a Yankees, one of these Yankees fucking groupies to suck him off. That's what he needs.
And I think I could line that person up for him. It's my wife. No. So the podcast, and you do call. You have people call in and leave messages, and tell people. I was on, and there was this kid who is one of your correspondents who covers hockey, and he didn't do a great report, and we shit on him. And he took it really personally.
Yeah.
And he may be listening. What's his name again?
Jake Bruder.
Jake. Grow some balls, you pussy.
I love Jake, though. Jake's 15. Our fans are really engaged, which is cool. And a lot of them are in high school, which I guess reflects kind of our brow comedy.
You're early 30s, 33, so you're not, and your humor's not necessarily, I think, targeted to high school kids. Why so many high school kids as opposed to maybe college or young?
Well, we have a lot of college, too. I would say because of our Twitter feed. Because the young kids are on Twitter.
Right.
And the feed has, over 73,000 followers. So I think that's where you pull them in through the Twitter feed, and then they follow. But yeah, our fans are insane. So they leave calls,
right.
And we have 2 hockey correspondents. And it's really funny because a lot of people hate, and I mean hate, our hockey correspondents. You didn't hear our Canadian guy, Jacob Faith. He started a whole Twitter beef the other day that I kept retweeting and documenting. Now 2 of our fans want to fight each other when Joe throws out the first pitch in New York.
What?
Like this might be some added event we do.
Wait, they want to fight? Who do they want to fight? They want to fight the hockey correspondent who they hate?
Yeah, the hockey correspondent Jacob from Canada wants to fight one of these diehard Eagles and Phillies fans. They want to fight in New York around when Joe Praino throws out that pitch at the Mets game.
What do they want to fight about? Why do they want to fight?
Because they got in some Twitter war, and the one kid was like, "You fucking suck. You're the worst correspondent." And then he's like, "You're just mad you didn't get the job." And it's this funny drama that I'm kind of facilitating.
But this sort of ties into my theory. Everybody wants their sort of moment of fame, and Twitter allows that, right, for these people. So now they're all amped up that you're retweeting it and you're egging them on, right?
Well, we rank our fans. I don't know.
How do you rank them?
It's complete bullshit, to be honest. But Joe tossed out this idea one night. He goes, "Why don't we rank our fans like the BCS? We'll do our top 8." And we released a fan rankings based on tweets, phone calls, publicity stunts, because a lot of people would bring signs to games, which is awesome.
And what do the signs say?
We've had multiple kids bring Doris Burke's dick signs to events. A lot of
them, to get it on national television?
Yeah, a lot of them had it taken away, but we had this little kid, Thomas Couch is his name. This little, sweet-looking little, 15, 14-year-old kid. He looks like he's 11. To the opening game last year, the opening college football game, it was Texas A&M, I think, against Mizzou. He brought a Doris Burke's dick sign to the game. And here's this little kid just holding up the sign. And he called in our show, and we're like, well, who'd you go to the game with? He's like, my dad was really mad. I pulled out this sign, and we had everybody taking pictures, and people were like, why does it say Doris Burke's dick? This is the first game on ESPN for
How
the
old is
season.
this kid again?
He's like 14 or 15.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
We're corrupting these kids.
And sometimes they almost always get taken away at some point?
Oh, yeah. We've had multiple people who had stuff taken away.
So you're like doing like what Howard Stern used to do like early on, where he'd like send out these, these minions, if you will, these fans.
I call them minions, yeah.
All right, and they'd kind of do his bidding, like boom, boom, boom.
Well, that's the thing. I'm a huge fan of Howard Stern. I still listen to him all the time.
Does what he did and what he's done and what he does in radio have an influence in you in terms of the way you do your show?
100%. I have so much respect for Howard Stern and what he did, and I think it's cool. And
in what way? What's the what is it that you respect about what he did and what he does?
Because Howard, started from nothing. Not that like we, kind of like how we did with this whole new idea. They call him a shock jock, but he has funny pieces, and he really found a way to incorporate his fans and then creating these other personalities. Like, we've created personalities with our fans. Like, our number one ranked dirtball named Jesse Stanga, his name now is Enemy of the Stanga, based off the Will Smith and Gene Hackman movie, Enemy of the State.
Right.
Because when someone goes after our Twitter feed and talks shit, he literally tracks them down, and he starts tweeting back at them stuff from Facebook where they work. He's shut down 2 people to quit Twitter, and he's going after adults, just so everybody knows. Like, he's going after the douchebag, the 35-year-old douche. One guy went after us hardcore, and he just goes into Google, and I don't know what this kid does. He literally was like, oh, I see you work at so-and-so. Maybe I should call your work and say you're saying all these mean things to Andy Ruther.
That's awesome. And how old is Stanga, would you say?
Stanga's in his 30s.
And what do you think it is that he connects with you guys? Why do you think these fans are so rabid for you?
I think it's that we, kind of going back to what we were saying earlier, we just have a different person.
You're talking the truth.
Yeah, we're just, I'm not.
You're not a corporate mouthpiece.
I'm not a corporate mouthpiece. I might say, again, a fucked up racial joke or misogynistic joke, but at the same token, if you listen to our show, we might go on a whole rant about some Tinder girl I banged. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sports, but then you throw in the side. Like, they know me. And somebody pointed this out to me the other day. They said, Ruther, your fans literally know everything about your life, which is kind of cool in a way.
You put it all out there.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you have any trepidation about that? Like, given like every once in a while somebody will get big and then they bring out their Twitter feed, like Trevor Noah, who is going to be the new host of the Daily Show, and I work on the Daily Show. And people have been asking me, like, well, what do you think about, It's like, well, you put it out there, you got to live with it one way or the other, And and so do you, you're putting stuff out there that's, pretty edgy, which is, I think, hilarious. But do you worry, like, well, I don't know, something down the road bite you in the ass? Yeah,
no, I don't regret. To be honest, I don't have any regrets.
You should. That couch, at least. You should appreciate it.
The only regret I have is that couch and the some of the women that I've had sex with. Those are my main regrets.
Who's the one was there one like that's right up there? Is she like the Jessie Stanga of the women that?
Yeah, there's one who and my fans know this. Well, there's a few. There's the Two Fridge girl in San Diego that Joe always brings up.
The who? Two Fridge?
I banged a girl. We went back to her place. She was big. She literally had 2 fridges at our house.
What, did she have butter in one and bacon in the other?
One was like, she was a college girl. We did a show at San Diego State University, and one was like the healthy fridge for like her like probably hot little San Diego roommates at San Diego State, and one was like her like just fatty fridge. So they call her 2 fridges. And then I did also banged a girl who she shat on me during anal sex. That was regretful.
Was your dick in her?
Yes.
And it just came out?
I started smelling something. I turned on the lights, and yeah, it's a day that will live in infamy.
Was she aware? Did she apologize? Did she go crazy?
Oh, dude, it's a whole story. The Cliff Notes version is she essentially wasn't repulsed, and I was freaking out, and she's like, what? It can happen. And I was like, how many dudes is this chick shat on? She was like 20 years older than me.
Really?
Yeah, I was like 23 or 24 at the time. She was in her
40s?
Yeah, like fake tits, like...
Stripper?
No, she was like this Mexican... She was literally a grandma. She had a grandchild.
Oh, wow.
It's Vegas. I guess, what happens in Vegas ends up with shit on your dick.
Smell like Desitin? Like that's...
She was from L.A. She was actually like a good-looking, good body. Like, when I say Mexican, like she couldn't speak Spanish. She was like a fake Mexican.
She was... like, if you asked her to climb a fence, she couldn't climb a
No,
fence.
she couldn't climb a fence.
She couldn't trim a hedge.
If I said, "Where's Dora the Explorer?" she'd have no clue.
She would not... So they all know this, and so you put it out there.
Yeah,
and they want to connect with you. I think they do. I mean, I know my fans the same way. Like anything where you put something out that's like personal, they really feel like they connect with you. But then, in sort of doing all this, did you find now? Do you find are you allowed to go? Are you like banned from any sports places or sports stadiums or sports like sporting events because of what you do?
No, not yet. I mean, that's a goal eventually.
I was gonna say
to be banned because that's when you've made it. But no, I haven't been banned from anything yet. And but that's on the 2015 agenda. Get banned from a few stadiums.
So what is it about because I know some of your fans are listening. What would you, if you wanted them to do anything differently, what would you want them to do?
Differently, they need to know how to just relax sometimes. Like when we did the campaign for Joe Praino to throw out an opening game pitch for the Mets.
Which you're going to do June 26th.
Which we're going to do June 26th against the Reds. So,
because you guys did this Twitter bombardment and you got the social media awareness up about what you guys do, and the Mets came calling, and you're going to catch the first pitch.
Yeah, it was insane.
You should try to shit yourself as you do it, just as a tribute to this Mexican woman.
Shit my pants. Wow. I need to time it correctly that I shart.
As soon as it hits the glove.
Yeah,
boom.
I shart. Boom. Instantly. We did some campaign ball called, they just wanted to tweet hashtags of the Mets that said, "Let Praino pitch." Within 4 days, the Mets.
And literally it was just Twitter, the Twitter account of the Mets, and then hashtag "Let Praino pitch."
Within 4 days, the Mets contacted the Dirty Sports Twitter feed.
Crazy.
And then from there, we've wrapped it up. But yeah, but back to your question is, they sometimes don't know, like, we make jokes and we go really edgy and off the wall. But when we're dealing with a professional franchise like the Mets, our fans need to learn how to like realize you don't tweet at the Mets like, "Let Praino pitch, so then Ruther can fuck some hoe in the first row." Hashtag "Let Praino pitch." You're like, whoa. The Mets don't want to see that. That's not going to help our cause, guys.
Yeah, but you created this monster. See, that's like telling professional fucking NFL players who are all steroided up and told to be animals off on the field why they're surprised they're whacking people around off the field. I'm not justifying it, but you created the monster, asshole. Live with it.
No, I agree, and I do, and I don't regret it. I was just you were asking maybe.
No, it's a good point though. You do want to kind of try to keep it a little corporate PC, like
I wouldn't even say the word corporate or PC. It's just at times we always joke that we keep it 100. That's what all the kids say nowadays, that they keep it 100.
Yeah.
We're like, sometimes you don't have to keep it 100. Maybe keep it at 90, guys.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to build this following from the time you first started the Twitter feed to then getting into the podcast and everything, like to get this kind of momentum?
We probably had the Twitter feed for a couple years. And
that built up to like 70,000 followers over
probably like 50,000 or something. Then we launched the podcast in the end of January of 2014. Mm-hmm. So we're about, we're coming up on like 15 months in.
Mm-hmm. And so but you still do stand up, and you've done, you're based here in LA, but this has taken up most of your time now. This is your main thing, right?
Well, but then I just got hired. I'm a writer now, which could not be a different animal. I'm a writer on Lance Bass's Dirty Pop Sirius XM show.
How did you get hired to do that? Did you blow Lance Bass?
No, I wish. I actually, I had.
And I think you do. You're looking off into this up to the ceiling a little bit.
I'm bringing back some really good memories. I had a girl that I actually met on Tinder. They were doing this contest to hire a writer, and she texted me and she's like, "What do you know about Lance?" She goes, "What do you think about Lance Bass?" And I literally responded, "I don't have an opinion on him because I didn't, So the only thing I know about him is he was in NSYNC, he was gay, and he wanted to go to space."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, they're hiring. They need a writer who's..." Because I actually like pop culture shit a lot, too. Mm-hmm. So she goes, "I think you'd be great. I've seen you on stage. You always make jokes. You always kind of like make funny pop culture jokes." And I kind of blew it off. You had to submit a minute video. It was like this contest through this company called Dream Jobbing.
This is how he was hiring his
staff?
staff?
This is how he was hiring, because they had never hired. They had a really small staff, and they were going through this process because at the time his producer
Mm-hmm.
and co-host was also the writer. Like this guy was working. This guy was working his ass off.
Yeah.
And his name's Drew Picorni, and I respect this guy so much because he ultimately is the guy who hired me. And and I submitted it, and I got along with him good. And but it worked out because Lance is gay, Drew's gay, and Drew was very upfront. He's like,
"You're sort of gay.
I'm only gay."
You've tickled a guy's balls a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only gay. I'm like a gremlin. Like you're talking about that. Only after midnight. Like I'm only like gay after midnight. But they wanted to bring in like a straight guy who likes sports.
Yeah.
And it's worked out. I've been working for him almost 3 months now, and he's on air 2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's been cool because I'm pretty much on air every day now too.
How did you? So you're so good with social media. You built your following for Dirty Sports, different from your own following. How did you build it over those few years? Was it just by just relentlessly several times a day just posting observations about stuff, funny pictures?
Oh yeah, and the thing is we run a bunch, me and my partner and some other kid, we run a bunch of social media feeds, actually. Like our biggest one that we created is called Things White People Like. It has 508,000 followers.
Wow.
And then we run like another one called Tinder Fashions, where we submit crazy Tinder stories or funny screenshots from Tinder profiles that people send to us. So we've kind of done this with a lot of feeds, and it's almost like a pyramid scheme. It's easy to build up other Twitter feeds once you have one that's big. Does that make sense? So let's say I have Things White People Like with 508,000 followers.
And that is literally what? Like just stuff, just anything that's...
Literally Things White People Like. Like today I've tweeted Easter egg hunts, Cadbury eggs, only going to church on Easter and Christmas.
Just like
One-liners that are funny, that are simple, or maybe funny pictures of white people. And then we can retweet some of our other accounts on that to help grow those.
Right. So things on that one about what white people like, you'll retweet. You'll do something
Dirty Sports. Yeah, but it's a lot of work, and that's the thing. People, a lot of my comedian friends, when I first started doing this, they were like, "Why are you in this weird Twitter world?" Because obviously I started out as a stand-up, and I'm like, guys, it's a lot of work, but. It's helped build our following. I know this is one of the reasons I got hired for the Dirty Pop job with Lance Bass. Like, this stuff's important.
Yeah.
And it really gives you a connection with the young kids. I mean, fuck, look at it. It's getting us to throw out an opening pitch for the Mets.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you're always into sports, but you kind of, you had a brain injury, about a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago today.
Because I thought you seemed a little off. No, I'm just kidding. And I was like, is this kid retired? By the way, I like your slogan that you have is, my friends think I'm funny, but my parents think I'm retarded. Is that
no?
How it
It's
goes?
Some people think I'm funny. My family thinks I'm retarded. They always called me little retard.
Really?
They're like, what are you doing, retard?
Are you the youngest one?
I'm the second youngest, but my little brother can kick my ass.
Really?
He boxed for the Air Force Academy.
Oh, Jesus. Now, you have another brother that was two are in the military.
One went to West Point, one went to Air Force Academy, and then 3 of us actually went to St. Louis University.
Wow. And did you know comedy was what you wanted to do, or how did this come about?
I was in college, and I was in actually New York, and I saw a Comedy Central Presents. And I'm not going to name names, but I didn't think it was that funny. And I said, I think I can do that. And all my friends in the drive back were like, dude, you're like the funny frat guy. Like, fuck, Ruther's drunk. He's fucking peeing in the corner, taking pictures with some girl's phone. They're like, you're that funny. You're not the, I can write well-crafted jokes funny. And I'm one of those guys who, when they tell me I can't do something.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think a lot of comedians are like that, actually. I think that what ends up happening is you just say, I'm going to do this just to show you that I can do it.
Yeah. So that actually planted the seed. That was when I was 19. But I didn't start writing jokes until I was 21. And then I did that stupid sorority talent competition. God.
Did you get laid from that?
Yeah, I was banging some freshman at the time.
It wasn't too fridge, was it?
No, I was cream pieing the hell out of some little freshman at the time. Yeah. She was terrified when I did that because what's funny looking back on it, the thing is, Paul, there was 300 people there. I mean, think about your first time performing in a packed auditorium.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah, exactly.
And I actually...
Were they drunk? Were drinking? Were they
something?
cool?
This was for like a charity. Like this was one of those competitions that was 3 PM on a Friday.
So was it all dudes or chicks too?
But both. It was all Greek people. So it was all these frats and sororities. I remember there were so many people in the auditorium. The aisleways that you would walk up.
Yeah.
People were sitting. And everyone's like, Ruther is going to do stand up. You had to do a 5-minute talent thing. They're like, what is he going to do? Everybody else is like singing or dancing or doing stupid stuff. Like, he's going to tell 5 minutes worth of jokes. And I just got back from spring break and I did some of my spring break jokes, which to be honest, I fine tuned, but I could still use today because I think they're decent.
Tell me one.
One of my jokes was I just got back from Mexico, and I'd always laugh because, these girls would do anything for a T-shirt. And it blew my – I remember just from an observation standpoint, it blew my mind because, the MC would get up and he'd be like, all right, Spring Breakers, welcome to Cancun 2005. Who wants to show their titties? You get a free T-shirt. And girls were going psycho for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So my joke was, if I was that announcer, I would just say the most bizarre shit because I know they do it. I'd be like, welcome Spring Breakers, welcome to Cancun 2005. The next girl will take a dump on her best friend's face, wins a T-shirt, and girls will be like, oh my God, Cindy, we have to do this, because
it's totally true.
Because it is true. It's like they don't think.
When you work on a TV show, they'll have an audience warm-up comedian, and sometimes they'll give the warm-up comedian like T-shirts to throw out. And I was appearing on a show and I was watching the warm-up, and the guy was great, and he's given up, but they didn't give him enough T-shirts for everybody, so it became counterproductive because it was pissing off more people than it was making happy, because if they didn't get a T-shirt, they were angry.
Yeah.
And they were seeing like a hit show with stars. They didn't care. They became adults. These aren't kids. Became fixated.
And it's white people. That's something you could.
It was white, and it was also Hispanic. They had to throw one Hispanic lady out because she was so obnoxious. She was like, "I'm on a T." She just got like really outrageously inappropriate. So they had to literally.
What show was it?
This was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Okay,
and it was a game show. But
yeah,
I've seen it in other shows too. If you've got to give a T-shirt to everybody or to no one.
I mean, you've seen in those sporting events,
right, they go nuts about.
You're right. You've seen when they bring out the T-shirt cannon. I mean, grown men are like boxing out and elbowing children to get a goddamn T-shirt. You're right. It's this whole weird psychological thing of
it's free. It's free.
It's free, and you caught it.
Yeah,
it's really bizarre.
So, when you're doing this stand-up, wait, you did the sorority show, and then you saw the Comedy Central Presents and thought I could do this, or the other way around?
The other way around. I'd seen the Comedy Central Presents, and I'd seen a bunch of comedians.
But you had been thinking about it probably,
yeah,
right?
2 years prior. Yeah, I do. I always loved comedy, and I was obsessed with Dave Chappelle, and he still might be my favorite. Yeah. And I always loved Conan, and I was always fascinated by comedians, and to be honest, a lot of the black comedians. Yeah. And
why? What about the blacks?
Because I like the black comedians because they're not scared to fucking say what's on their mind.
Well, but they can because they're black and they're minorities, and there's a different set of rules for them.
I totally agree.
And I talk about this in my act, like as a white men have the, and I'm not complaining, it's just a reality. We theoretically are at the top of the food chain and the oppressors in society, so everybody in society is gunning for us.
Yeah.
Gays, Jews, blacks, Puerto Ricans, women, lesbians, like Chihuahuas, like everybody's. But that's the fun of it, like I talk about, race, and lately I've been saying that my favorite player has been Larry Bird, in part because he was a great basketball player, but because he was white.
Yeah.
And then the audience gets a little like, oh, that feels a little racist. Like, well, because I relate to white people better than I do black people.
True.
And black people relate to black people better than they do white people. Right now, I feel bad for Kevin Love, mainly because he's white, and I feel like he's being ganged up on by all the other black players on the team. I really feel like there's a tinge of racism going on there, and I'm going to start talking about it because I was just thinking about it today. Because it's like he's an alpha male, and so is LeBron, right? You get two guys that can be stars in their own right. I mean, LeBron's a better player, but I think he's getting the short end of the stick, and part of it feels a little racial to me. So I understand what a black person feels like when a bunch of white people are not giving him his due, right? So it's reversed,
Did you see what happened with the Andrew Harrison thing?
Yeah,
But it's funny to me because he calls the guy from Wisconsin, Frank Kaminsky. he calls him the N-word, and white people are so outraged that if it was the other way around, and I'm like, white people, you need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No, it's not. And
This is not Riley Cooper.
Yeah, he gets to use it.
He can say it as much as he wants.
He gets to use it. Yeah, and it's like, these are kids. They're still kids.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the gravitas or the sense of self at 19 to stand in front of the United States and speak and like.
Oh, at 19,
screw up and you're upset. You just like.
I mean, that's a good point. At 19, I was doing manginas at my fraternity's spring formals. People were taking photos of me sticking my dick and balls between my legs and doing the creeper from Silence of the Lambs. That's what I was doing at 19.
But you're also the guy that ends up growing up to be a congressman or a president of the United States.
Oh, no way.
Because you're so likable, you have a good personality.
Thanks.
But then there's all this shit.
There's no way.
But then you have everybody who's affiliated with you that was there when it happened. You have them killed secretly.
Oh, I went to school, so I graduated in 2005.
Yeah.
Which I kind of I missed the age with the phones, and Twitter wasn't out yet, and Instagram. I mean, if the stuff I did in college, there are still so many nude photos of me.
I look at a collage in this summer right here.
Yeah.
Look like, this reminds me of me and my friends.
I was actually hoping we could do a nude photo shoot after we do the podcast.
We're doing it all right. And I haven't taken a shit, so you can just bang me in the ass, and I will shit all over you.
We'll just reenact my
right
favorite memories.
Couch.
Actually, if we did that on the couch, it would somehow make it nicer.
It would improve the couch. So do you? So how did this brain injury come about? What happened?
So I got blacked out drunk. This was last year, and I went to comedian Eric Andre.
Yeah.
So I went. He had a huge birthday party, and I just wandered out, and I woke up on a sidewalk in downtown LA at about 7 a.m. Actually, to this day, last year is when it happened.
So this is when we're taping this, which is a different day when it airs. This is the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, April 5th
of you being a little retarded.
Well, what they call me, the Dirtballs on my Dirty Sports podcast. They call me Denthead because my head was dented. So I fractured my skull. I had brain hemorrhaging.
But wait, so you're in his apartment in Los Angeles?
No. So Eric, and I don't know Eric that well, to be honest. It's one of those friend of a friend sort of thing. He has this insane birthday party. He's insane. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Mm-hmm. He has his own show on Adult Swim. He's one of those crazy comics. Mm-hmm. He has this huge, it's like a complex where he has a party. Mm-hmm. And, I just got way too drunk. I've been drinking all day. It was the Final Four. We started drinking at 2 p.m, watching games. And I woke up probably 3 miles from where the party was. And I woke up on a sidewalk.
What happened? How did this
I'll still never know.
What? You still don't know to this day how you ended up 3 miles away with a fractured skull?
Well, I was always a wanderer when I drank. That was one of my worst things I do. Like, some people get angry, some people get mad. I'd be the guy who just was like, see ya. I'm like leaving on my own, just wander around. But I think I've put the pieces together. I think I was trying to Uber at home because the last person who saw me said I was getting an Uber. But the problem is, I didn't have my phone on me. I was charging it at the party, and I forgot it. So what I'm thinking in my head is I'm wandering around looking for a cab. Because when I woke up on the sidewalk at about 7 a.m., I still had my wallet and all my cash on me. So I don't think anybody hit me. I think I just fell. I mean, I was hammered.
So you probably blacked out and just did one of these.
That's what I think.
Boom, like a
now,
tree.
Now, we've joked that a crackhead kicked my ass. But I always say, wouldn't you agree? If somebody kicked my ass, wouldn't they take my wallet?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe it was Doris Burke.
Maybe her dick just fucking
whacked you into that.
Knocked me right to the ground.
So were you bleeding?
Yeah, so I woke up and I had some blood coming out of my ear, but not a crazy amount. I had dried blood on my sweatshirt, on my hoodie. And I hopped in a cab and went back to Venice. I didn't have any crazy headaches. That's what's scary about brain injuries. I had a normal hangover. I showered, there's no blood, washed it off, and I pretty much slept it off that day.
You didn't go to the hospital and you had blood in your ear? You're an idiot.
I know. That's what everyone says, but 2020's hindsight, man.
No, fuck you. It's not 2020's hindsight. That's something you do. I would have gone. Blood in your ear is a sign that it's either that or one of those little earwig bugs came in and they were eating your brain from the inside. From your inside of your ear, you got to go to the hospital. Go and get it checked out.
Well, I fucking learned. All right.
So what happened? So you shower, you sit down, you start jerking off in this chair that I'm sitting in.
I shower. I pound about 3 out on my Sunday fun day, and I I was being cheap, dude. I have a shitty HMO. I didn't want to pay.
No, I
I'll be honest.
that.
I didn't want to pay $200 just to see the doctor.
You didn't want to pay $200 to live. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm not Jewish. I was raised Catholic. I know that sounds very Jewish of me, but here's what I did.
You just wanted a handicapped spot. You wanted to get one of those big. You wanted to stay brain damaged so you could get one of those stickers.
Exactly.
Put on your car.
I went to the doctor the next day.
Yeah.
I go to urgent care in Santa Monica. This fucking idiot doesn't tell me to go to ER either. He's looking at me. Obviously, he inspects me. He said I had a bad ear infection.
Do you have a cut on your head anymore?
No, that's the thing, Paul. That's what's crazy. There's no feeling when you have a brain injury a lot of times.
There's no wound.
There's no wound.
Wow.
That's what's scary because the actor Liam Neeson, his wife hit her head skiing. The same thing happened. She didn't think anything of it. 3 days later, she died. Just died.
It was 3 days later? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was walking around at the time with a fractured skull, bleeding out my brain too, and I didn't know.
Oh, you had blood on you were bleeding in your brain.
Yeah, it's all internal.
Whoa.
So this idiot doctor on Monday doesn't tell me to go to ER either, and he says you need to get a CAT scan to see what's going on with his ear. Welcome to health insurance. I need to see my own doctor to get a referral.
The primary care physician, yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, a day later, I'm about to go on stage. About an hour before I go on stage, the whole left side of my face stops working. Couldn't move my eye. Couldn't move the left side of my mouth. Now, I looked at the meds. The doctor the day before gave me meds, and one of the side effects said can cause severe numbness. So I just assumed it was the meds. And people can say you're an idiot, but it's like, really, am I? It was the same side of the ear that was injured. So here I am now looking like a stroke victim. And my brain's all fucked up, which I don't even know about.
And is it affecting your speech?
Yeah, it started to affect my speech. I literally did a 10-minute set.
What did it sound like?
I would love to see video footage of that. It's probably the worst set ever.
Hey guys, I'm Andy Ruther. So these girls in LA,
I don't know. All I know is I went to see the doctor. It was Wednesday at this point. I woke up Sunday, and I went to see a doctor. And the minute I saw my primary care physician, he goes, "You need to go to ER instantly." And he didn't even really tell me why. So still in my head, I thought I had a bad ear infection. And that's when they told me, we need to get you in for an MRI. They started shoving IVs in me to reduce the swelling. They pump you full of steroids. So I fractured my skull. I had brain hemorrhaging. And then when I did fracture the skull, what happened was it pinched the nerves on the left side of my face.
Oh. So now, do they have to go in and operate?
No, and that's what's so crazy. It kind of heals naturally.
They don't drill a hole or anything?
No.
I would have loved to have drilled a hole in your head. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but that can also...
You could have videotaped that. You could have put that on all your Twitter feeds.
Yeah.
You could have upped your following. You should have had him drill your head.
I know.
You pussy.
I know. I could have done that, but there is risk of dying with that.
Yeah, but what? You weren't worried about dying earlier when you didn't want to spend $200. So literally, they didn't have to go in, huh? They did it's all through medications?
It's all through medication. So when you have it, when you're swelling like that, they literally just pump you full of drugs, and mainly steroids.
But why the steroids?
Because it actually reduces the swelling. When your brain's swelling, they got to. So I was in the hospital for 3 nights, and so then I had to relearn. I was diagnosed with something called Bell's palsy, which actually can happen commonly, but it never happens from an injury. My neurologist said she had never seen it from an injury. So here I am literally having to reuse my face. If you saw pictures of me when I got out of the hospital, I straight up look like a stroke victim.
So you had to, you had to learn how to use
I had to learn
speech impediment?
I couldn't close my eye.
So how do you do that?
You literally do exercises at home and you see a physical therapist once a week.
Like with your finger?
Yes, like that.
Close your eye?
Weird little things. I didn't completely heal. Which, it's tough to tell, but there's certain things I do I'll never be able to do, like stupid things, the way I move my mouth or whatever. But yeah, and
can you blow a guy?
Yeah, but mostly on the right side of my mouth. the left side of the mouth is still a little sensitive. So when they stick a penis in my mouth, I'm like, can you?
So the left side of my dick would get more satisfaction than the right side.
Yes.
Right,
we actually on our podcast, Joe kept telling our listeners, I'm sure we have no girls who listen, but he's like, any female listeners, if you rub your boobs in Ruther's face, I think it'll heal it.
Do you have feeling that to this day?
Yeah, but it's still weird. It's still sensitive. Like now the left eye closes more, which is funny, especially when I smile. it closes more when it couldn't close at all.
It looks everything looks
Thanks. Yeah,
normal,
because it healed in a different way. Bless you. It healed in a different way, but whatever. I mean, I'm not just saying this. My doctor at the hospital and my other neurologist both said you should be dead.
I would say you should be dead for a whole other set of reasons. So will it have any developmental effects in terms of your cognitive abilities? Do you I mean, in all seriousness, slower to pick up on things, harder for you to formulate sentences?
No, it hasn't at all. At times, I think it might have affected my memory, but I also just think that's bullshit because it gets in your head too.
Yeah.
So the main thing is when you have a traumatic brain injury, you're now prone to have seizures if you drink alcohol.
Oh, geez. Are you drinking alcohol?
I haven't had a sip since the injury.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Miss it? Yeah.
I mean, at times, but to be honest, I was kind of always a weirdo without it. So, like, I'm the guy who will say fucked up shit at a party, dead sober.
Yeah.
So, like, alcohol was just a heightened version of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at times you miss it, but I'm in no hurry. I might drink again, and it's just so it's not like, oh, I'm gonna have a beer.
Yeah, but you're not blowing your whole next day being hungover either, which is a nice
That's
thing.
what I don't miss.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't miss that at all.
I mean, that's just like that's
and sympathy pussy's great.
I can't drink. I've had a brain injury.
I can't drink.
Boom!
Shove your pussy in my face.
No, the other side of my face. I can't feel in your pussy.
I'll go down on you, but only the right side of your vagina.
That's so weird because that's the only part of my vagina that feels anything.
Oh,
we should get married.
We should.
It's
legal here in California. We can make it happen.
So do you talk about this in your act?
You know what? I actually haven't. I talked about it.
What are you, crazy? You should be talking about it. No one's got that story.
I talked about it initially. By the way, I went back on stage when I should not have been going on stage.
Even after you found out about it?
Like I had shows booked before the injury. I was going on stage when, looking back on it, what were you doing, Ruther? You had like a lisp. You looked retarded. People were probably like, what is this, a special ed show? Like, why are they bringing the fucking charity case on stage today?
Oh, Jesus.
But no, I have written jokes about it. I think for a while it was... I had to just disconnect.
Yeah,
does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like now, after a year, I can definitely sit down and write.
Yeah,
some bits on it.
It's a big thing. What do you have any other plans for brain injuries in the future?
Well, March was actually Brain Injury Awareness Month. I did ask the followers if they wanted to reenact it, and nobody actually came to the forefront. And
are you serious? I would think that they would. You either if you're a list if any of your fans are listening to this, I say either go get a mannequin, which would be cheap to buy, or a blow-up doll, dress it up as Ruther, throw it on a street somewhere, put some ketchup in its ear, recreate the whole thing. One of you get a car, and just run over this doll. It's not going to damage the car. See where the body lays. This is like a Matlock, like a monk thing or whatever, like a detective show where we recreate the incident and we figure out what happened.
That's funny that we bring that up. Everyone is always curious. I'm the one who's actually been the least curious to know what happened. I just don't care because I've had so many dumb I blacked out easily when I used to drink.
I would drink a lot to the point where I would pass out, but not like it would usually just I wouldn't wander away. Like I get like super, especially if I was drinking. Like if I drink hard liquor, then I'm just boom. I go to from like 0 to 100, and then I'm gone. Right?
Yeah.
I passed out in bathrooms at parties, and the door's locked, and then they have to come out and get me out. Like they had to bust the door down. Then they just drag me outside. Because I go in to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, man, I just got to sit down for a minute, and then I don't remember anything.
Oh, dude, if I was at that party, I would totally teabag you.
And
draw penises on your face. I'd have sex with you.
And one of them, at least one time, my pants were down. Like,
really?
I remember what happened. For some reason, I unbuttoned like my pants a little bit, and I'm standing up going to the bathroom. I'm like, then I finished going to the bathroom.
Was that Jimmy Reynolds' party in 2002?
That was Paul Biello's party in Providence, Rhode Island.
That was me. I fucked you. Actually, I sucked your dick while you were sleeping.
Wow, because every time my wife does, I always say, can't you suck it like... never mind. And I keep comparing her to you, and she's like, who is this guy? I'm like, I don't know. I just have this name in my head. And my pants were down around my ankles, and my friends had to pull me out and put my junk in my pants. So I know what you mean. Like, you just get, like... But you were always like that.
Yeah, I was blacked out easily. I mean, I've woken up on sidewalks, on subways, next to random girls.
But never behind the wheel of a car. That's good. I mean, that you didn't, like, drive.
No, I had some bad drunk driving incidents, too. I never got a DUI.
Yeah.
I did abandon a car once in college. I ran over a fire hydrant, and the cops were waiting for me at my parents' house.
Was it their car?
Yes. I destroyed my dad's car.
Was he ripped?
Oh, he was so mad. I was home for a Christmas break, and they were up in Cleveland for my little brother's wrestling tournament. My dad, the only thing he said was, "Don't drink and drive, and don't have people over." I did both. and you know why?
Dad, I thought you said drink and drive and have people over.
And
I didn't hear the don't.
And you know why? I was craving White Castle. I was literally driving ripped out of my mind to go get some fucking
Yeah, but
White
I know
Castle.
what that's like. You got to have a burger when you're that hammered.
Oh, right?
I mean, the cops, you literally thought. So, do you remember what the thought process was like? Because I've done fucked up shit driving and then whatever, but I never like. What was the thought process of like? I'm going to walk away. And no one's going to catch me.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I literally ran over a fire hydrant in front of this woman's house, probably a mile from my parents' house. My friends were following me, but they were hammered too, and the airbag had hit my face. And I remember when my friends opened the door, the first thought I said to them was, "Dude, I'm fucked up." And they're like, "Yeah, no shit. You just ran over a fire hydrant and destroyed your day." It was like old geyser was shooting out of this woman.
Oh, the whole thing?
Dude, out.
That's
straight
awesome.
into the air. And the woman from the house comes out.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cool." And I just was like, "I'm going to walk away from this." And I literally thought in my drunk head I was somehow going to get away with it. And, you know, they run the plates. By the time I showed up to my parents' house, before I even got to the house up the driveway, there were cops. They had the lights off, and they go, "It's freeze," and they have a light on me, and there's 3 cops there to handcuff me.
Wow. Did you have to do like community service or anything?
Well,
like that?
here's the crazy thing. They can't get you for a Dewey unless it's on the scene. So I got charged with reckless driving and leaving the scene of an accident. A DUI and leaving the scene of an accident are both first-degree misdemeanors, but that's a lot easier to get dropped.
Yeah.
And my dad's a lawyer, my dad's a stockbroker. He got one of his little lawyer clients, Jack Rubenstein.
Oh, there you go.
Next thing you know, I paid a $75 fine.
Nice. And then
The moral of the story is, guys, if you're going to drink and drive, leave the scene.
leave the scene and hire Jack Rubenstein. Leave the scene and hire Jack Rubenstein.
Or any other Jewish lawyer.
So, what is it about you that your Dirtball fans wouldn't know? Is there anything you haven't revealed?
Oh, I did reveal. I revealed this this story on, I think, on another podcast, and Jesse Stango was very mad that I've not talked about it on the show.
Let me hear it.
I had surgery on my left testicle at 14.
What happened?
Paul's speechless.
Did it run? Did you run over? Did it run over a hydrant and it had to be repaired?
I actually got blacked out drunk, and a homeless guy stabbed my testicle. No,
your testicle. You got really drunk, and your testicle left your body and wandered off.
Yes, actually, my testicles were out of control. I had enlarged veins in one of my nuts. How funny is this? And they had to remove the veins because if I kept them, it might kill all the sperm for possibility of me having kids.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Now, one of my nuts is a little bigger than the other.
Yeah, but that's normal.
They're both oblong, but one's a little more oblong than the other.
So it was called varicocele. So they literally cut in on the groin here, and they removed the veins. And I was...
Oh, I had that.
Oh, really?
Because I was having trouble having another kid. I could show you the scar.
Oh, so Paul's dropping his pants right now for me.
Hang on a second. See that there's a line over here?
You got the same thing, man.
Yeah. I never met anybody who had it.
That's crazy.
Because my wife, we were trying...
And god damn, you got a bush down there, bro.
Yeah, I don't manscape at all.
You don't give a fuck.
No.
You don't ever manscape.
No, never. I'm married. It's like whatever.
It doesn't matter. Does your wife go down there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's just like chimps flying around down there. It's like a little jungle. This little African guy shooting darts in people's necks.
So wait, you had.
I had this thing because I had. There's three different things to test sperm and the effectiveness of it. One is motility, volume, and there's a third one. So like it's not just about amount; it's like how quickly it moves and all that other stuff. And I think I was low in all 3 categories. And they said, well, if you want to have another kid, it might be you. And this would promote better blood flow to my boys to generate more or more effective sperm. Now, maybe you had the opposite. You had too many veins, so it sounds like they took some out.
Yeah, I did.
You're like super stud. I'm like the pussy guy with not enough veins.
But you know what's funny? After the surgery, and I wish I had fucking camera phones didn't exist back then. This is after my freshman year of high school. I'll never forget the swollenness when I went to take a pee when I woke up. Yeah. How big my balls were.
Yeah.
They were like basketballs.
And you had to put ice or something on them, right?
Oh, yeah, they were huge.
I put like frozen bag of peas.
Yeah.
They said ice or frozen bag of peas because the peas are small and they can form around it.
I would actually just...
This is weird. You're the only person I've ever talked to.
My mom actually would stick her hand in a thing of ice. And I would rest my balls in my mom's hand.
I'm like, boy, my mother didn't do that for me. Asshole.
Very loving mother.
So you bet is your sperm good?
Yeah, I mean, and I think... We always joked in college, like, Ruther can last like a champ because I would bang girls and they would, like, be next door. I think it helped me last longer.
Really? It didn't help me.
Maybe they removed too many veins.
But you had too many veins that you weren't generating. But why at that age why are they checking your sperm for anything at that age? Were you in pain or something?
No. They don't check. What happened is I was getting my physical, and the doctor, after he gave me a hand job, he was like, "There's something going on down here."
It's Dr. Rubenstein. It's the guy who's a lawyer. It's also a doctor.
So yeah, he just said that you have dude, you got some shit going on down there, and if we get this now, they didn't test my sperm
because it was big.
Yeah.
It
was like noticeable.
Yeah.
So yeah. But the Dirtballs don't know that. Now, I mean, God knows the nickname they would give me. You know, it's Dent Head. Now it would be like One Nut Ruther, One Eyed Willie,
the Baller.
Yeah, who knows?
You got the Vein Man.
I mean, I don't even want to test my sperm now. God knows what diseases.
You can blow that window out probably. You could shoot a load and just smash that window to a smithereens.
I can always actually shoot far loads for some reason.
Yeah, see, they gave you like a special. You have like turbo balls. I had the other problem. I was just like, it wasn't happening. It was not happening. So they said they went in and they cut a V. That's what you said. Left and right side of the old shaft there up by the lower stomach, and boom, they went in. And I don't know if it's helped or not, but you know. I got some meds out of it, and so now tell me, sports-wise, just as we wrap up here, the time this airs, we're sort of we're done with March Madness. The baseball season started. You're a Cincinnati Reds fan. What do you see on the horizon, sports-wise, or like what are you looking forward to in sports in terms of it's going to embarrass people, or who do you think gets arrested in the next 6 months, and for what?
Oh my God! That's a good one. Who gets arrested?
Well, you're the dirty sports guy. You got to know that. You got to see that. You got to have a crystal ball for this.
I think it might be a rough year for my Reds. They're in a very competitive division.
Wow, you got everybody there that you had last year. You re-signed everybody, right?
Yeah, but Pittsburgh was good last year. Milwaukee was good last year. And St. Louis is always good. And the Cubs are supposed to be good.
Yeah.
A lot of people are picking the Reds for 5th, dead last.
Yeah.
Which I don't think will happen. Who gets arrested? I'm really hoping Josh Hamilton has a bad relapse that involves hookers and cocaine, and somehow Dwight Gooden is somehow in that mix. I want like a throwback cocaine guy somehow thrown in the mix.
Why Josh Hamilton? He's too goody two shoes for you, or just to be a good story?
Well, you know Josh Hamilton has had relapses, right? He was just in the news last week.
No, I understand that, but is there something about him, like, I mean, you know, that like his personality that
I like Josh Hamilton for the record.
It'd just be fun to happen.
I just love when these guys have a relapse and it involves hookers and cocaine. And like I said, if you can somehow work, Doc Gooden in the mix.
Or maybe Darryl Strawberry shows up.
Darryl Strawberry, his nose was so big. How much cocaine do you think he could have fit in that thing? He had the biggest fucking nose.
That's one of the characters in my show is the nose.
Oh, it is?
It's based on him.
See, we're already seeing eye to eye.
And he has the ability to snort like locks off doors and stuff like that.
I already love the show.
Yeah.
When is this going to air?
Oh, you would totally love it. The characters are really fun, and it speaks to everything that's wrong in sports.
Do you have one about Ray Lewis and his mysterious fucking white suit?
No, we're going to work one up, because what I did was I just went through and I created categories of bad behavior.
Yeah.
So there's, steroid performance-enhancing drugs. There's womanizing. There's gambling. There's there's just general stupid criminal activity.
Yeah.
And now, in the last year or two, the one that's now a new category is domestic violence. So what I did was I created characters that represented like 4 of the major food groups, basically, because you can make these characters an amalgamation of different personalities, or make it like truly like a spoof on one particular person, and so I think it's time to have a domestic violence guy.
Oh, I mean, who do you choose from? There's so many at this point.
Well, I mean, my feeling, I think the punishment should be like they should have to go in a ring and fight each other, like just battle.
Oh, so you take like a
Ray Lewis,
like
and a Hardy, and you put
Ray Rice,
a Ray Rice,
and Hardy,
and put them in a ring together, and they have to beat the shit out of each other until one of them passes out.
Oh, that's great. I love that idea.
Don't you think that's a good penalty?
It's a great idea.
And then
and the loser has to watch like The Notebook and all women's movies for the next week.
I like it.
Just movies they would fucking hate.
So you're looking for Josh Hamlin to have a relapse. I'm looking for A-Rod. I'm looking for A-Rod to get tested positive.
I think A-Rod's gonna have a breakout year.
I actually think he is too. I think he's gonna play well, which kind of pisses me off. And I think Big Papi's gonna get caught. I think he's gonna he raised.
Can you explain to me? Big Papi's lived here for 20 years and he can't speak a word of fucking English. How do these guys not pick up on anything when their job is living in America and playing?
Oh, that reminds me. And the panda gets type 2 diabetes by September.
Oh, Pablo Sandoval?
Yeah, because he won't watch his weight. That was one of the problems with San Francisco. They wanted him to watch his weight, and he didn't. And now he's with Big Papi. They're going to go all night and eat plantains and all that other, whatever those people eat. And he's going to balloon up another 60, 70 pounds. And he'll be like, starting at third base, type 2 diabetes. He's going to have gout. He's not going to be able to play because of gout. I'm telling you, it's going to be a mess.
Well, here's another one. I hope Yasiel Puig, I assume he does cocaine because he's from Cuba. So I'd like to see a little scandal with him. I like him a lot, though.
I know. Yeah,
he's a fun player.
He's like, I don't know, though. He feels like he's too dumb to get in trouble. Like, he wouldn't even know how to get in. He doesn't seem bright. He seems like, Mongo, lift weights, And then he just... the guy did swim from Cuba to fucking Florida.
He actually rode a shark the whole way. He actually hopped on a shark's back, and he's like, giddy up.
Flipper took him.
Yes.
Flipper, the dolphin took him. I think that... So what about basketball? Who do you see winning the NBA championship?
That's a really tough call. I know that everyone's on Golden State's dick. I really think if the Cavs make it to the finals, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
I think the Spurs.
You still think the Spurs do?
They asked me that on ESPN, and I said the Spurs because I don't think any team.
You didn't say Doris Burke's dick.
I did not say Doris. I should have. I didn't know what I was. I hadn't met you yet, so I didn't have that in my head. But I never had met anybody who had the same feeling about her that I did. So it was sort of like, there's a reason we came together. We both had the ball operation.
Yeah.
We both...
I sucked your dick in 2002. We have a good backstory.
I think that you don't win an NBA championship the first time you go. Maybe you do if one or two players have been there before, like LeBron has.
That's why I'm saying it'll be tough for Golden State.
I don't think Golden State wins because of that reason. I don't think the Clippers have a complete enough game.
They're not tough. Clippers aren't tough.
And they're a big transition team, and their half-court game's okay, and their defense is spotty at times. But I think, Pop is he's a crafty coach.
He's the best coach.
He's rested everybody. They're making this push. Tony Parker's back doing, averaging over 20 points a game and like 5 assists. I think those guys have been there, and Kawhi Leonard's healthy. I'm telling you, if they don't win the West, I'll be surprised. Maybe Dallas, because Dallas has been on a run. But again, and they've been there before with Nowinski and Rondo, so they could be another sleeper that comes out.
The West is just so tough to choose.
Oof, all the point guards, are you kidding me? Russell Westbrook is a guy that I see like snapping and punching a small child in a middle school.
Let's hope it happens.
There's something about him, like he just seems like at any moment he's going to snap.
Does he punch one of those kids wearing some douchey emo outfit? You know how he wears all those dumb douchey outfits?
He's got the worst.
I want to see him punch a child when he has like suspenders and like wireless
those
brim glasses. Yeah.
And if one of those guys wears a fucking backpack to a press conference one more time.
Why you want a backpack, bro? You off the fucking?
You're basically saying I want a pedophile to come and fuck me.
Are you off the 6th period social studies class? Why you want a fucking backpack? Go You're a grown ass man wearing a backpack.
I hope you go after these guys about the backpack on Dirty Sports.
Oh, we've killed them. We've killed them.
What's in the backpack? What do you think's in the backpack?
I don't know. It's clearly not. It's clearly not condoms because those guys don't know how to use them. I mean, I just. Why?
You think it's money for supporting their 17 children that they've had around the country?
Yeah, I mean, you're a grown man in a backpack. You know what I hate about the NBA fashion is no one's original.
Yeah.
Oh, one guy's going to dress like a hipster. We're all going to dress like hipsters.
Right.
I miss the days when they had gold chains, baggy jeans, and a fucking AK-47 in their back pocket.
That Hammer used to wear.
I miss those days.
Right, exactly. It's just like, and then the white guys know how to dress. They just like Dirk Nowitzki shows up in like jeans and like just a button-down shirt, and he's like, hey, yeah, blah blah blah. Fuck the Jews because he's German.
Yeah,
and then he goes back to playing. But he's doing Westbrook's doing commercials for True Religion clothing line, and I think he's hurting them because anything he puts on, he looks fucking terrible.
Yeah,
he looks terrible. But I think he's going to snap, and I think he's going to punch somebody, a small child. Just keep me. Just trust me on that one. So, what do you got coming up that you want people to know about? They should go to dirtysports.com. They should follow you on Twitter, Dirty Sports, right? What else?
It's at The Dirty
Sports.
Sports.
At The Dirty Sports. Give them all your Twitter.
You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Ruther. That's Ruther.
I don't know why I'm laughing right now, but go ahead.
And it's a weird Twitter feed. Yeah, definitely check out our podcast. And
it's on the SideshowNetwork.tv, also on iTunes.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I did it. You know a lot
about
sports, but listen, you were great today. This is fantastic.
Thanks. I mean, you have a beef with a 15-year-old, but hey, that's cool. That's what happens.
That's it. I'm gonna every once in a while. You know what I should do? I should call in to the line like at least once and say something about him, and then you could play it and play his response to my thing or something.
And then you guys can actually have a boxing match.
And then, exactly. And then I think you should have your people recreate your head injury. And submit the video and then give somebody an award for the best recreation that you think comes closest to what happened.
It's a great idea, but God knows our idiot followers, when you start incorporating video and editing, that might be too hard for them.
You should tell about the surgery we each respectively had on our balls. You should have them recreate your ball surgery.
I did have a kid once staple his nuts to his leg for a retweet. He stapled his nutsack
so that you would retweet him on at the Dirty Sports.
No, it was on Andy Ruther. He was a fan of mine, and he listens to the show too.
You're gonna be like Jim Jones. Where you're gonna get everybody to drink the Kool-Aid. You're like they just follow you blindly.
It was his idea. He said if you retweet me, I will staple my nutsack to my leg, and he did it.
Well, there you go. Andy Ruther, brilliant comedian. He can get men to staple their nutsack to their legs. He's got a disgusting couch that actually should be in the Smithsonian in some way, in some part of the Smithsonian, maybe in the basement of it or something.
AIDS actually started on my couch.
That's it. At the Dirty Sports on Twitter, at Andy Ruther, and they can see you. Check out your stand-up online. Really funny dude. There's also stuff posted. I saw it. And a great guy, and probably bleeding internally as we speak on the brain, but he did this anyway. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. Great time.
All right, that was Andy Ruther. Great guy, brain injury. I stubbed my toe and I'm in bed for 2 weeks. The dude is, like, indestructible. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Don't forget, May 1st and 2nd, Comedy Connection, East Providence, Rhode Island. May 7th to the 10th, Cincinnati Funny Bone. You can see me there. May 15th to 16th, Governors in Belmore, Long Island, at the Brokerage Comedy Club. You guys are the best. Keep spreading the word about the podcast and follow me on Facebook and Twitter.